Trousers are falling down. Good job.
Happy 7th birthday to Prince Archie. It feels like just yesterday the world was meeting him for the very first time. But 7 years on, his story has taken a quieter, more unexpected path when shaped not by tradition, but by choice. Growing up far from the spotlight, surrounded by love, nature, and space to simply be, Archie's childhood is already becoming something rare. And perhaps, that's exactly what makes his journey so compelling to watch. On May 6, 2019, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex welcomed their firstborn son. Just hours later, the world heard directly from his father. Standing outside Windsor, Prince Harry appeared before cameras, visibly emotional as he shared the news.
I'm very excited to announce that Meghan and myself had a baby boy.
On May 8, 2019, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex introduced their son to the world at St. George's Hall, Windsor Castle. The moment was intimate, joyful, and entirely their own. Days later, his name was confirmed Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, and the photographs traveled around the globe all over again. July 6, 2019, Archie arrived for his christening at the private chapel in Windsor Castle, dressed in the traditional royal christening gown. The ceremony was deliberately private, a sign of what was to come, but the portraits that followed showed a calm, round-cheeked baby surrounded by close family.
Perhaps it's the newfound clarity I have as a father, knowing that my son will always be watching what I do, mimicking my behavior.
Just months later, during the Sussex's tour of southern Africa, the world saw Archie in motion for the very first time. Just 4 months old, he accompanied his parents to meet Archbishop Desmond Tutu in Cape Town, a moment that quickly became one of the most talked-about images of the tour. Carried in his mother's arms, smiling and curious, he charmed everyone in the room. It wasn't just a photo, it was his first real public moment, and already his presence was making headlines. Not long after, the path began to change. In 2020, Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties and began building a life in Montecito, California. It was not an escape, but a decision clear, deliberate, and costly. They chose space over scrutiny. They chose presence over performance. Most of all, they chose a childhood for their son that would belong to him, not to the world watching. 1 year old, and Archie's birthday came during a period of enormous change. The Sussex family had stepped back from senior royal duties.
It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges. And I know I haven't always gotten it right, but as far as this goes, there really was no other option.
Spending time in Canada before settling in Montecito, California, a move that would define the years ahead. The milestone was marked with a simple video, showing a bright-eyed toddler full of curiosity. Two years old, and life in California was taking shape. That summer, on June 4, 2021, Archie became a big brother to Lilibet Diana. From that moment on, those close to the family often described him as gentle, curious, and deeply engaged in his new role.
Those are his ears, silly. It's a duck, and he's about to eat a piece of bread.
It didn't matter where they landed. You know, I just wanted them to be happy and so that I could be with them. And obviously not having to take any long flights made it a heck of a difference.
3 years old, and Archie celebrated quietly in Montecito, surrounded by family. By then, the Archewell Foundation had been established, its name inspired by the Greek word Archie, meaning source of action. A subtle nod to the child who had already reshaped his parents' path. 4 years old, and Archie's life remained largely private. Occasional glimpses shared by his parents painted the picture of a childhood centered on nature, learning, and creativity far removed from traditional royal expectations. 5 years old, and the milestone was once again marked in a low-key, personal way. A birthday portrait shared by his mother showed a boy growing more confident and independent with each passing year. "6 years old, and Archie appeared more grown-up than ever. In the rare images released, there was a sense of calm confidence, but still that unmistakable spark of playfulness just beneath the surface. And now, 7 years old. But beyond the milestones the world could see, a quieter, more defining story was already beginning to unfold.
What followed has been defined by absence, and meaning within that absence. The glimpses that do surface feel unguarded, almost accidental. In their Netflix documentary, there were moments of laughter, of movement, of ordinary family noise filling bright rooms. Nothing staged, nothing over-explained, just the quiet evidence of a life being lived. And then there is the philosophy beneath it all. Something Meghan recently articulated on the Aspire podcast, not through grand statements, but through something as small as a garden. She described how her children learn by planting seeds, by waiting, tending, and watching something grow at its own pace. In a world built on immediacy, the lesson is almost radical, but it does not end with growth. It extends into choice, into responsibility, into understanding value.
We grow a lot of veggies, and part of what I want them to learn is, and gardening is really, really so great for children because it teaches them patience, teaches them to value and appreciate their food. So you start from seed and you watch it grow and they wait. But with that, it's like, now do you want to sell your harvest? And do you want to share it with our community? And also, what do you want to do with those funds once you have them?
In those questions lies something far more enduring than privilege. They suggest a way of raising a child to understand not just what he has, but what it means. And so today, somewhere in the golden light of Montecito, a boy turns 7. There will be balloons, perhaps a garden breeze, laughter that doesn't carry beyond the walls that hold it. Nothing about it will be historic. And that is the point. Because the greatest thing his parents have given him is not distance from the world, but the freedom to grow within it, quietly, on his own terms. Archie entered life under the weight of history and the glare of 1,000 lenses. He is growing up in something softer and far more enduring, a life shaped not by attention, but by intention. Happy 7th birthday, Archie. May every candle you blow out belong only to you.
If you enjoyed this one, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell for more royal moments. There's plenty more waiting for you.